Welcome to this GSLI presentation on marketing your co-curricular involvement. This is sponsored by Career Development. And as you will see on this slide, Career Development is made up of two full-time staff employees. I'm Nick Schaefer, as you see me on the left, and you'll see Casey Hilferty on the right. You can reach Career Development. Here's some of our contact information on this slide. You can email us at cd@gmercyu.edu. And at the bottom is our website. Some of the information today that I referred to, you will see on this website, gmercyu.edu/cd. This presentation, we will focus on a few different items. We will first start out by talking about the services and resources available for students and alumni of Gwinnett Mercy University, the skills employers look for. It's important for you to know these skills before you go to the next part. The skills that you develop and enhance through your co-curricular involvement. And then finally, how do you market those skills that you developed in your co-curricular involvement, both on your resume and during your interview? Here are some of the most common services and resources that Career Development has. We help students with their resume and cover letter. We assist students with their internship and job search, and that's with a lot of tips, strategies, and resources. We help students improve their interviewing strategies with practice interviews, both over the phone, through remote practice, and also in person when we're in person. Career Development has a number of job fairs and internship fairs that we either sponsor or co-sponsor throughout the year. We still have a number of virtual ones, so make sure to check out our events page. We have lots of workshops available for students throughout the entire year. And we also have a work guide on our website. It's called the Student Athlete Guide. But this guide can be used from any student that is involved on campus. It's very transferable and it makes sense for all areas. And as you'll see in the bottom, right now we are accepting virtual appointments as we are working remote. And you can email us, like for example, email us your resume, cover letter, or you can schedule a video or phone appointment. The email is at the bottom and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. That email is cd@gmercyu.edu. Here are some websites to take notice of that Career Development manages. Make sure to review the first one, especially as we have a lot of good information on there, which I will show you in a minute. It's gmercyu.edu/cd. Handshake is our website where all jobs and internships go. And students already have an account in both Handshake and Big Interview below that. It's the same login as your gmercyu email account. So make sure if you want to review some jobs and internships on Handshake, just go in there. And then Big Interview can be used for practice interviews. You can record yourself answering questions and review it yourself. You could have Career Development review your answers. It's a great way to enhance your interviewing skills. And on the bottom, if you want to check us out on social media, we post a lot of job fairs, internship fairs, job searching tips, all sorts of career information on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I want to show you our website, get you a little bit more familiar with what we have to offer. So as you see in this page, we have a number of categories. The one you want to focus on is students and alumni. And on this website, there's a lot of great career information, tips, and samples on there. As I'm scrolling down, you'll see that we have different sections, including explore majors and careers if you need help brainstorming ideas on maybe what you want to do with your major, or maybe if you want to change your major. Diversity and inclusion resources, career videos. We have some of our past presentations recorded and we put them on our YouTube page, such as resume writing. And we also put discussions and interviews with employers on there. So if you're looking for a job, review some of those employer meet and greets to find more information about the employer, what kind of jobs they are hiring for, and what kind of students they're looking for. They also give some tips on what they look for in candidates, which will help you as well. resume and cover letter information. That will help you with creating, strengthening, or developing your resume and cover letter. We have samples based on all different majors, so make sure you check them out. And there is that student athlete guide that I mentioned, which is a guide that can be used for students with any type of co curricular involvement. Job and internship searching, if you need some guidance in that area, make sure to check out these 4 guides here. Interviewing, there's that big interviewing website I mentioned before. It's a great interviewing software where you can practice your interview through your phone or through your computer. And graduate school information at the bottom. I'm going to scroll back up and show you one other part here. Here's where we have all of our events that are listed. So throughout the year, there'll be a number of events that will be posted. So we're always constantly updating this. As you see here, we have an employer meet and greet coming up, a virtual job fair we are co-sponsoring. So there are a number of different items there. So developing, enhancing your skills. Think to yourself, since we're not in person, I want you to take a few minutes to think to yourself, what are some ways that I can develop and enhance important skills for a future employer at Gwinnett Mercy University? So here's a couple examples. You could do this through your co-curricular involvement, student clubs, organizations, intramural sports, and the Griffin Student Leadership Institute are some fantastic ways to do just that. Some additional ways include being a student athlete, volunteering, service, alternative spring break, mission trips, depending upon your major. Internships is a massive way to do that. Jobs, it could be part time, full time, summer, even work study positions. And coursework, it can be projects, it can be research papers, presentations. Those are all great ways to develop and enhance your skills. It's also important to understand what employers are looking for. So for this exercise, pretend you are the hiring manager. You are an employer and you get to choose the candidates you're going to hire. What skills do you want these soon to be graduates or students to have? Some generic skills that are important for almost any job. And I'll give you one just to give you an idea. Communication skills. So this list below that I'm going to show you in a second is developed by employers. Through an employer survey, they listed the most important skills they look for in students for internships and for jobs. So take a minute to think about what skills you think would be important when hiring somebody. Here are some examples. As you see here, problem solving skills, ability to work in a team, and that's important whether it's through co-curricular involvement, class presentations, or if you're a student athlete. Leadership, and if you're involved in a Griffin Student Leadership Institute, this is a great way to demonstrate that. Having a strong work ethic, quantitative skills, taking the initiative, that's something that's important for college students. Flexibility, technical skills, computer skills, organization, creativity, and strategic planning skills. So the idea is to think of ways, going back to the previous slide, think of ways you can develop those skills that our employers are looking for. And some may be more important to your field and some may be less important, but think of the ones that are most related and most important towards the field you want to get into. Now that you know what some of the common skills are that employers are looking for, it's time to start thinking about what transferable skills you already have and how you can market them. Transferable skills are those skills that I sort of mentioned before that are important for almost any type of field that you're gaining through clubs and organizations, being a student athlete, classes, and so forth that can relate to whether you're trying to become a teacher, an accountant, a nurse. It doesn't matter. What skills are you developing through those areas that can help you be effective in your future job? So here's a transferable skill worksheet The idea here is to highlight the skills below that you have experience in and then give an example next to it. So I put an example below. So for communication skills, I put a generic example as student activities committee president. I utilize my strong communication skills in scheduling meetings, organizing events, and delegating tasks for different projects. So I want you to look at the skills below, and I just put a few samples in there. Look at the skills below and pick out the ones that you feel you have developed and enhanced, and then write a sample next to it. Again, this could be through GSLI, it could be student athlete, classes, internship, jobs, all of those count. So take a few minutes, do as many as you can, and then put an example next to it. And now that you complete that transferable skills document, it's time to move on to talking about how you would market your skills that you indicated that you have gained through those experiences on your resume. So here's an example. If you were, putting this information on your resume, you don't want to just write, what student club you belong to. That's okay, but you can make it stronger by kind of writing out some bullets, just like a job about what you learned, what skills you developed, and what accomplishments you had. So you really stand out versus the competition that's applying for that same job. So here's an example. If you were to SGA, you have it written like Student Government Association at the top, the school name next to it, your title below it, the dates, and then you have a few bullets like I just mentioned. This one says marketed and publicized events and fundraisers, including the movie marathon, which raised money for the Children's Diabetes Association. The next bullet mentioned created and designed social media sites, including, and they mentioned a few sites to improve the organization's outreach to the Gwinnett community. The idea is to try to write your bullets that will, show those areas of skills, accomplishments that help you stand out. Here's another example for a resident assistant on campus, for an RA. Created a positive living environment designed to link community, often resolving conflict. So right there, that shows a number of different skills working within a community team atmosphere, problem solving. A number of different skills are addressed right there. Promoted academic excellence, addressed student needs, and encouraged involvement among residents that supported the mission of the university. Marketed and led student-centered hall programs. Assisted in the selection, evaluation, and training of incoming RAs. So there's a number of skills there: customer service, communication, problem solving. They're all addressed right there. A third example, here's a student athlete one. So this student is a member of the baseball team and indicated they are not just a pitcher, but they're also the captain. So in their bullets, they write selected as one of two captains and provide leadership to a team with more than 40 members. So numbers are good to have on your resume, especially for student clubs, because it stands out and it creates a visual for the reader. Participating in raising over $8,000 for a local cancer society by assisting with several fundraisers. And the third bullet actually talks about some of the skills they have improved, gained valuable leadership skills such as communication and problem solving. So, what I want you to do is spend the next few minutes writing a few bullets describing your accomplishments, your responsibilities, what skills you developed and enhanced through your co-curricular involvement. It could be GSLI, student club or organization, student athlete, or even something off campus as well. Here's another way you can market your skills on your resume, not just as, jobs or under leadership activities. If you have a top section, like an intro section, such as a qualifications, profile, or summary, you can highlight it like this. Start out with a quick introduction sentence that says something like, highly creative individual with extensive leadership experience seeking a position in the field of marketing. My strengths include, and then you can have a few bullets. Student leader who devoted an average of 30 hours per week to meetings, event planning, and recruiting other students to join clubs while also excelling in the classroom. Self-motivated, energetic, able to take on new challenges. Dynamic leader who communicates well in team environments and excels at multitasking. And then the bottom one mentions a few technical skills. So for this section, why don't you try to create your own and write, let's say 2 to 3 bullets that sort of summarize, that showcase your top traits, skills, knowledge, and experience. Now let's move on to marketing your skills for an interview. So the first step was you identified the skills that you're gaining. The second step is you started marketing them on your resume. The third step is now how do you communicate them during a job or internship interview, which is very, very important. So here are some examples. So if you were asked a question during an interview, what are some of your strengths? And this is a student athlete answering this one. You could say something like, I feel that athletics has really shaped me into the individual I am today. I am hardworking and as a result was a starter on the soccer team all 4 years. I'm a dedicated person and demonstrated this several times by staying late after practice to work on my skills. And then it gets into a few skills that they feel like they developed and enhanced. So I think that's a great answer because it also is specific and mentions some skills and then how they got those skills, which this student mentioned through being involved on campus. The next example says, what can you bring to this company? That's a common question that you will get in some way an employer will ask you that question. This student says, I am a team player. I work well under pressure and I'm a quick learner. I bring a hardworking attitude that will enable me to perform at a high level. I'm very dependable and reliable. And then it gives some specific examples about not missing classes, events, or practices and so forth. So this is how you would bring your co-curricular involvement alive with these questions. Another way this would be important is for the whole concept of behavioral interviewing questions. These types of questions often ask for an example or a short story because they believe that the way you react in the past is probably going to be the way you react in the future. So you need to share something specific. And your co-curricular involvement can be part of answering these types of questions. The way you go about answering these questions is using a concept called SAR. And the S stands for situation. You're basically describing what's going on, what happened. The action for A is what action did you take? What was your role in the situation? The result is how did it work out? What did you learn? So what I usually tell people is make the situation result about 20% each of your answer. So a total of 40%, and your action should be the bulk of it. So about 60% of your answer. Here's an example. Tell me about a time when you effectively juggled several different priorities at one time. So the situation would be being a member of the track team. So this student talks about being a member of the track team, how many hours per week they dedicate. The middle part, the action. In addition to being an active participant on the team during practices and games, we are also required to train on our own. And they talked about never missing homework or classes or games and so forth. The result at the bottom, having a great GPA and performing at a high level. This could be more thorough, but I wanted to give you a generic example. Now take a few minutes and you give it a try. Use the SAR approach. So the situation, action, and result. So I'm going to go back and show you that slide. Here it is. Use this format in answering these two questions. Tell me about a time when you worked effectively under pressure and give an example of when you demonstrated excellent communication or leadership skills. Feel free to use Griffin Student Leadership Institute, student athlete, volunteering, a classic example, working, internships, any of those will fit very well with this. Moving on, some next steps for you. So after you complete those areas where we paused and I had you work on some items, which is very important for your resume and interviewing, some next steps include using this information to update and strengthen your resume. So you are going to work on, this on the side and then input this into those documents. You're going to keep, of course, working on developing and enhancing your skills and experience, especially for the areas that are related to your field. And keep in mind that slide that focused on employers, what employers are looking for. Because now if you know what employers are looking for, you should be trying to aim to become strong at those areas. And then I would suggest that you schedule an appointment with career development. Again, you could email us, to discuss your resume, cover letter, and interviewing. And then we could talk about how you are marketing your co-curricular skills into those documents and your interview. I do want to re-mention, please check out our website, gmercu.edu/cd. You can see all those examples of resume writing, interviewing, plus events. We still have a few events left this semester. We'll have some events in the summertime. So you can find events on our website and also on Handshake. So most of these are virtual events, so please take advantage of them. You can do them from your own phone or computer. And for workshops, Casey and I will be doing workshops the rest of the semester and probably a few throughout the summer and definitely in the fall semester. And usually these are 20 to 30-minute workshops on career topics such as resume writing, cover letter writing, interviewing, all those career topics. So be on the lookout for that. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us, cd@gmercu.edu. And our website again is at the bottom. And I look forward to hearing from you.